Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. हरिनाम संकीर्तन की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिधि नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. In 2019, I was given one new service by the GBC nomination committee called as GDO. This stands for Global Duty Officer. These are the devotees who are allotted some new services like this. His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu was given one mandate, one world book distribution team. So Prabhu is supposed to wake up the whole world on Prabhupada book distribution, which he did very successfully in the last 2 years. You all have seen Mm. I think about 25 lakh Bhagavad Gitas were sold all over the world. And also, Srimad Bhagavatam also, I think 25, all over the world, there were several thousand Bhagavatam sets. 27,000 Bhagavatam sets were sold, I think. So I was given one mandate, training and making devotees from the West and in the West. This one is Bhaktivinoda Maharaj was given International Outreach Department. Chaitanya Avatari Prabhu from Bangalore, he was given ISKCON Initiated Disciples database for the entire ISKCON worldwide. And His Grace Devakinandan Prabhu was given International Projects Master Plan Development at Puri and Mayapur, especially in fundraising. So these five were allotted as GDOs in 2019. So that was after my 2 years of GBC college course, which my special master asked me to attend, and I attended. And that is why I got some new service in US. Generally, sometimes service comes from various quarters. Sometimes ISKCON Bureau gives service, sometimes ISKCON GBC gives service. I have a very simple formula. Whenever any new service comes, I just turn to my spiritual master. Yeah, I never agree for anything on my own because that is the beauty of spiritual life. You can associate with, you can respect all Vaishnavas, associate with a few, reveal mind and confidence to a very few, and take instruction from one. Then it becomes very easy. So in 1995, my spiritual master sent me to Pune, and at that time, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj has been the GBC of Pune since 1982. So he had requested His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj to send a team of devotees. So myself, Rupa Goswami Prabhu and Sudama Prabhu, the three of us came to Pune at that time. Then both of them, His Holiness Gopal Maharaj and His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, they both told me that there is a great dearth of devotees in the temple. At that time, there were 7 devotees. As soon as I came, I saw within the next 1 or 2 years, 3 fellows left. They were old fellows. Old. They saw that the temple is becoming stricter in standards, so they ran away. 3 people. Only 4 remained. They were all Hindi devotees. So they both told me that we should have some ISKCON Youth Forum activities activated in colleges. It will be very nice. So let the youths increase in Pune. So 1996 onwards, we started the IYF, we call it ISKCON Youth Forum. And I first went to PSCT College and Bharati Vidyapit College. And these were the 2 colleges we began with. And by Krishna's grace and Guru's blessings, the preaching boomed in a very, very short time. We used to have 30-40 students thronging the room. All the devotees like Sundar Sham Prabhu and others, you see, they all came in that program. So later on, we started in CYP College and PBG, Printing College, and COET College, like that. And there are many other colleges, MIT College, we started in different colleges. And 2001, we came up with the first concept of BASE, BACE. BASE stands for Bhaktivedanta Academy for Culture and Education. And basically at that time, everybody knew that BASE means a group of students come and stay together. They go to college and come back and they stay together in a flat. They eat prasad. They have morning program. This much was known. And very soon it picked up in India. Within 2-3 years, in 2003, 2004, all over India, some other temples also started BASE. They liked the idea very much. But only thing is, it was becoming a little diluted that, even working students can stay together, have a cook from Mayapur, and that's called BASE. It became like that, whether you do morning program or not. So it was more like a comfortable facility for some youngsters to stay and take prasad, that kind of thing it came. At the time, I renamed BASE as Voice in 2004. Vedic Voices for Inspiration, Culture and Education. Since then, we have been calling it as voice. So eventually, 2002, we went to IIT Kharagpur on the request of His Grace Dayaram Prabhu. Then subsequently, Kharagpur preaching picked up. Acharya was going from here. Sri Gujaran was going. Balagon was going, like that. Shamrupa was going. In this way, then IIT BHU Varanasi was started, and many other colleges were started like that, all over India. NIT Suratkal, NIT Warangal, different NITs also. So every year, every alternate year, we were beginning new program. In those days, in youth preaching in India was not very prominent. Many temples actually were focusing on congregation preaching and life membership cultivation. So we had open ground in India at that time. You could go any part of India and start in any NIT, IIT like that. So 2004, we did National Youth Festival, where 5,000 youths came from all over India. They were all proper devotees. Many of them were chanting minimum 4 to 8 rounds, and many of them were chanting 16 rounds also. So that was a great encouragement to Pune temple, and also for the youths who came from different parts of India. They looked at each other and got very inspired also. So they all went back and said, we also want to start IYF in our own temples. Many others were very inspired. So 3-day program we had, 14 proper disciples came for that program. It was a very grand program. We had debates, we had dramas, we had lectures, we had exhibits. Many of the IITs, they had put exhibits, big. We had even allotted some funds for making exhibits also. It was a 3-day, very dynamic festival. We had arranged for accommodation, everything. In this way, it went on. And as years progressed, many temples started phoning us up and said, it will be nice if you can send some brahmacharis to our temple. And also, you are coming to our city, please kindly help us preach in the college and make devotees for the local temple. That's how Calcutta probably was one of the first temples where brahmacharis and boys who were preached there. By 2007, I think, we sent Acharya along with a team of 43 devotees. Some of them are brahmacharis, some of them are planning to join after that. After that, Kanpur, Devakiranand Prabhu, he said, I will build a big temple and you give devotees. We will collaborate and develop Kanpur. Like that he said. So he is one of my very respectable, worshipful seniors. Then Kanpur also was one of the temples where a big number of devotees went, probably 30 plus, 35 plus. So in this way, then following that Juhu temple, and Bangalore, 2 temples. Then Hyderabad, 18 devotees went to Hyderabad. Then Dharwad, then Belgaum, and the different places. So as devotees went to different parts of India, you can imagine brahmacharis from here going to another temple under a different authority. It's a new place for them. They very faithfully, those who practiced have not only survived, they have flourished also in other places because of their faithful practice, and they learned how to submissively work under different authorities in different parts of India. They worked and they flourished very wonderfully. So many times, many of the ISKCON leaders and proper disciples, they give a lot of appreciation, credits to me that Radheshyam did the revolution in youth preaching. But honestly speaking, many of those glories they give is based on these devotees who went to different parts of India, and those who are faithfully practicing and expanding youth preaching. They do all the good work and I get the applause oftentimes. But it is a fact that they have been doing very well. In the meantime, one of my dear friends, Sundar Gopal Prabhu, so he was actually in Bangalore, working in Bangalore for a while, and then he joined. He was an MTech from IIT also, was also one of the IITs. And he did a great revolution in Prerana programs, which they called as Umang in those days. And then the Delhi temple picked up very big preaching, youth preaching also over the years. So now all over the country in India, there are 10,000 youths chanting 16 rounds now. We have made a survey. And there are 679 youth preachers in India. Put together, all the temples put together, north, east, west, south, the total count. They have made a survey recently. So actually, north and west, these two put together itself is close to 7,000. Close to, I think, 6,500, 7,000, I think. So the east and uh, uh, south, yeah. South is the least at the moment, but it is going to pick up in the time to come. It will increase. In Bhagavatam, there is a verse which says, Tamraparani, water which flows in south, anybody who drinks it, they become very pure at heart and they'll become great Vaishnavas. So we have to find out what all colleges come in Tamraparani banks. We should go and start centers there. Because Bhagavatam says that. So eventually South preaching also will pick up. So this has been going on like this. Now you may be aware we have a very simple website, radheshyamdas.com, which was started many, many years ago by Antardeep Prabhu. Antardeep Prabhu is a very, very pakka leader in terms of preserving all the strategies and the materials, preaching materials that I prepare. I am very, very poor in computers. I know to prepare many PPTs and notes materials, but I am not very good in keeping them in an organized fashion. And since many years, earlier Antardeep Prabhu has been my greatest asset, I can say, in Pune, in terms of preserving these materials and along with the video team, putting it up in the website. And it was refined, and there is Rukmini Valla Prabhu who designed the current website, along with one Parampara Prabhu, Vani Prabhu in Bombay Desertry. So in the website, it's a very simple website, but it is very good preaching material for all the preachers in India. Gaurang Prabhu always says, you have cracked the code by which Indian youth can become devotees. Like that Gaurang Prabhu used to say. I don't know what is the meaning of cracking code or something, but but it is a simple fact that we have materials which are very easy for the Indian youth to grasp and become inspired by, and become practicing devotees. And in those days, Chachin Charan Prabhu was a student of COEP college, and he became a very wonderful brahmachari. And went on to, I was handed over one service by His Holiness Bhaktivinoda Maharaj called Spiritual Scientist. Maharaj used to run as a booklet, and I was also running as a booklet. When Chachin Charan Prabhu took up, he suggested that we can make it into a e-zine. And then eventually the e-zine became very, very popular. Then he went to reach it to many, many thousands of people. And then he became an international preacher, and he also a very powerful book writer also. And now he has answered more than 5,000 questions in his website, if you see, The Spiritual Scientist. So he became a writer and a preacher, and he's doing very great service to youth also, all over the world. So in this way, life has been going on, and the recent past GBC requested that let us make one youth wing for the entire India, and we will make Radheshyam Das as youth minister, they were saying. I said, minister, when you say, it requires policing, going to each temple, every temple, and saying that everybody is doing something in alignment and everything, which I'm not very comfortable with. Instead, I proposed an idea that we can make a kind of core committee or steering committee for the youth preaching in the entire India. And they said, yes, if there is a team of devotees ready, we are very happy. Then a team was formed. Antardeep is also part of the team. About there are 10 of them, correct? And there are 10 devotees. IIYC was formed some 4 or 5 years ago. 2016 it was formed. So ISKCON India Youth Council, it was made. Now recently it was expanded into 4 wings, north, east, west and south. There's IIYC wings for each. They will celebrate one festival individually, and collectively for the whole country there will be one IIYC. And this is all for the youth preachers. All over in India they come together. At least 300, 400 youth preachers will come together. So these things have taken shape very well now, and it is powerfully growing. And as I told you, you can imagine 10,000 youth standing 16 rounds in India. It is like a golden age. Prabhupada will be dancing in ecstasy. Because Prabhupada in 1976, 77, if you see, expressed that the Indians have not understood this movement yet, especially the youth of India. They are still mad after running to the West, and like the Prabhupada felt unhappy. But now Prabhupada is very happy to see that the youth of India is like seriously practicing. So just like all of us sitting here also, you'll be so happy to see. So uh, then I attended the GBC college. What is the GBC college? GBC college is actually a training program for some of the presidents, uh, those whom the GBC invites to attend, so that later on they will be given some responsible position in as assistant to GBC. We call it as a regional secretary assistant. We call. So after my Pune presidentship, I was given regional secretary assistant to some 5 places: Aurangabad, Ahmednagar, and Satara, Kolhapur, and Pune. These places. I was also been responsible in Hyderabad along with a few, 3 others also. So when all these things were there, suddenly this came up. So I was wondering, but my spiritual master said, you should go to GBC college, take it up, and at the end of the GBC college, they gave this mandate that you go to West as a GDO, Global Duty Officer, and help in making assist. Already do what is doing there, some preaching. In America, in my travels, I found that uh, some of the most commonest techniques they are using is Americans are looking for soothing kirtans. So there's one thing they call a sound bath, they call it. Sound bath is actually only music. There is no mantra in that, like crystal sound. They lie down and they close their eyes and like crystal sound, soothing sound, which calms the mind. And they also have musical meditation club, like they have it in University of, I think it is in Dallas, not in Dallas. I think it was in UCLA. I think UCLA, yeah, University of California. So they have a musical meditation club. They sing kirtans very softly, Hare Krishna kirtans. Many boys, girls, as many as 50, 60, only Western people come and they sit. They can sit 1 hour also for Hare Krishna kirtans, very softly. And then prasadam is a common feature everywhere. Everywhere, first class prasadam they serve. Even if you charge also $5, $10, people are ready to pay. People don't mind. So colleges allow that. In 1972, in Prabhupada's times, Gainesville started one Krishna kitchen with the blessings of Prabhupada. From that time till today, 50 years it is still going on. Every single day they distribute prasadam for 700 to 1,000 students. Just across the road from the temple, free prasadam, very hygienically cooked and offered and served, and the college has deep appreciation for ISKCON because of that. And along with the prasadam distribution, they have, kirtan also going on. And in America, one good thing I liked, in all the universities, you can sit anywhere in the lawn and put a cloth, put a book table, sit with the harmonium, with the mridanga, and you do kirtan. There is no objection. Any college, hostel, near the hostel, everywhere you can put. Because it's a country of free thinking, if you put a book display and people want to pick it up, they have no problem with that. There is no restriction for that. But you should not solicit the books by going and troubling anybody. You can show the book. If they are interested, they may take. If they are not interested, you should not pursue them. If you pursue, they can complain like that. So that kind of freedom is there everywhere. So ISKCON devotees supply books pretty easily, freely, and then people pick up. College students, boys, girls, they pick up. And then those who pick up the books, read, we can cultivate them also. And if you cultivate, like one brahmachari, I asked the Western brahmachari, I asked, what was the response of your parents? He said, parents, they kicked me out when I was 13. When I met the devotees, I was 16. So I just moved into temple. There is nobody to ask me, why are you joining? It is diametrically opposite to India. So there is nobody going to stop you there from joining. Only thing is, nobody will join very easily. That is the difficulty. Because it requires really genuine interest. So there is no restriction from parents. There's a lot of freedom there. If anybody is interested, they will easily come. And they move into temple and they live their life out for a year and see. If it's comfortable, they'll continue. Otherwise, they will proceed with their journey like that. So, in many of the universities, the name of the clubs is Bhakti Yoga Club. Very simple. And they officially allow. Not only that, college even gives funds for Bhakti Yoga Club. Many of the universities for your activities. They have 50 to 100 clubs. You are also one of the club. If you say that we have a Bhakti Yoga Club, we want this particular hall, we want this much funds for providing some snacks, they provide everything. You can get it signed, and every club can display their activities on the first day of the college, where they allow you to put books, table, just like any other club. You can give prasad, you can put book table, everything is free there. Very nice. These are all very good plus sides and plus point in America. I saw that. And so first time I went in 2019, September, I stayed there for about a month. So we went to a university called Northeastern University, which is very famous. Most of the Indian boys go there only. Northeastern University's ranking is somewhat like 450th or 500th rank like that. And the Massachusetts Institute of Technology is in the first 15-20 ranks. Harvard also in the first 15-20 ranks. So in those colleges, mostly Western devotees study in MIT and Harvard. Whereas Northeastern, majority Indians. Very easily Indian boys get through. I think even little above average boys can get into Northeastern University in Boston. So we have one program called as Welcoming Indian Youth to America. For the first time, those Indians who come and put their foot in America, for welcoming them, we have a program. So we did in September, 145 boys and girls came, Indians. So for them, America is new. So we did drama, we did some dance program, and I had a lecture for 1 hour. And we registered them for Discover Yourself after that. So from that we got a lot. So 145 students easily came. We gave a big feast for them. They felt very much at home like India. It's a Krishna temple. They got to see many Indians there. They were very happy. Basically we do that. Why? Because they get introduced to our temple on the very first day. Then after putting their luggage, they'll keep coming time to time. They come to temple for darshan, like that. So we did that, and then we devised, and then we generated a group of Indian boys whom we cultivated. In 1 year, 5 of them came to 16 rounds. That's the first batch. And then some of them are working in Boston, some have gone to different parts of the country, but they come. They come whenever we have special program, they come. But they are in touch, daily touch. There is Raghav Prabhu from Pune. He's keeping in touch with 2-3 of them. So, and then we wanted to generate the subsequent batches, but then the COVID came, you all know that. In COVID time also we did online and we got some people in that also, but not very big number. So now, this time I went again to West. I stayed in Boston for about 20-25 days or so. Another 15 days I went around different places of America, and I'm going to show you the photos very soon. Where I went and what we did, I will tell you briefly. Okay. So here is a vision for the youth preaching in the West for the next 5 years. In this, Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Prabhupada, when he landed in America, the first place he put his foot in America was in Boston. So Boston Harbor, you see him getting down from the Jaladuta ship. So after my appointment as GTO, I met my spiritual master in Govardhanako village. And Maharaj said, I want to talk to you along with His Holiness Niranjan Maharaj, who is the GBC for Boston. So they both spoke. They both exactly echoed each other's opinion. They both had the same opinion. They said that in the entire West, Boston is the hub of education. Anybody in America want to come for any big education, they'll come to Boston. And in Boston, the MIT USA is very famous. Harvard is very famous, and many other colleges also. Boston University, Babson University, many other universities. So they said that it will be nice if you go there. They have given you general mandate as a West, but if you go to Boston and make that your base, it will be nice. We'll make a beginning from there. and develop that place and bring many youths. And then if this becomes successful, then we can also go to different parts of America and make friendships. And just as we did in India, we can do in America also. And they said that America is very much badly in need of Western body devotees now. Because in Prabhupada times, many temples, like New Vrindavan had 700, 800 devotees. Huh? Some of the temples had 200 devotees, 300 devotees. If you want to know more about it, you can ask for a PDF copy of Fortunate Souls. There's a book by His Holiness Danavir Swami Maharaj. In that book, you will see in the last part of the book, Maharaj shows 71 to 77 what kind of roaring preaching was happening in America. At the moment in America, many proper disciples, like ladies, they are worshipping the deity and preserving the sanctity of the temples they are doing. And of course, some men are preaching also. In some temples, there is activity, and some temples, there is minimum worship going on. So, but there is a great need for Western bodied people to take to the movement seriously. Otherwise, in many communities, Indians are running the temple. We don't want ISKCON movement to become an Indian movement. We want to have it as international movement with Western bodied devotees. So, with the, and they both were saying that let that revolution happen from the youth level, because American youths become serious, then they will have many years ahead. Another 50, 60 years with them to expand the movement. So you want committed youth. Now, how to get American boy to become a devotee? And Gaurang Prabhu was saying, you have cracked the code in India, but we haven't cracked the code in America. That's a different youth, different type of youths there. Many of them are trying different techniques, but the basic technique I understood, some are doing yoga, pranayama, and bringing them to chanting, not chanting on mala or anything, a few mantras along with the breathing exercises they are doing, some people. And through kirtan, music, some people are trying to make the people favorable. Some people are becoming favorable. Some are taking initiation also, Western people. But the number is very pretty small. If you want to know some of the prominent people, there's Raghunath Prabhu and Kaustubh Prabhu. They have they have the sages, what is that? Wisdom of the sages, something like that. They have a YouTube channel where they make a dialogue and try to attract the Westerners through that. There is another devotee called Vedasar Prabhu. He is doing some chitta cleansing method of cleansing the mind through the chanting of the holy name. So there are many new techniques they are trying in the West. And there are also devotees in New York, for example, who put book table, sell Prabhupada books, and directly preach straightforward Krishna consciousness. And from that also some people come. So I am, one of the things I am doing now in the West is going to different places and seeing what they are doing and how much is it successful. And what we could gather from them. This is what I'm doing. There is one new concept coming in the West called as Krishna House by His Grace Kalakanta Prabhu, disciple of Srila Prabhupada in Gainesville near Florida. So what he does is he has got a Brahmacharini ashram and Brahmachari ashram, two ashrams, and he has got about 35, 40 students who come in the morning for Mangalarati, and he trains them very nicely. And now Krishna House is starting in 5, 6 places in America, in different temples. This is the biggest one in Gainesville. Other places, small units he has started. So he says that for Americans, this kind of co-education thing will work very well. So that he is trying like that. So what I personally intended to do in the coming 5 years is we are going to take a very simple approach of typical preaching like Indian preaching, what we have been doing, voice preaching. Same approach we are going to take in America. And we are first going to make an effort to make devotees Indian boys, Indian bodied people. Like in Boston, if you have 20, 30 committed boys chanting 16 rounds, and through them we can make Western bodied devotees. Especially it requires some special talent to invite the Western people and put up a discussion and all that in order to be able to inspire them in their Krishna consciousness. So therefore it will require some ground level manpower eventually. So that is why we started with Indian bodied. So we can say that Indian boys are like the low-hanging fruits in Boston, because you can get them from Northeastern University, and but there is one challenge, nevertheless, that the Indian boys who have gone to America, they have education loans they have taken for studying. They have to pay back. They are very much intense situation about the internships, which they may or may not get in the after 1 year of MS. And if they don't get placed in job, they have to take a U-turn, come back to India without jobs. So these are all practical problems they are facing. So because of that, even the Indian youths are sometimes challenging to get. So the third personality you see is Grace Pyari Mohan Prabhu. He is also GBC of Boston, above the temple president. All three are Prabhupada disciples. So I met him also. He lives in Connecticut, but he comes to Boston. Connecticut and Boston are like a couple of hours or so. Yeah. This is the temple president of Boston. His name is Vanavali Pandit Prabhu. By the way, Vanavali Pandit Prabhu is also a ISKCON Pune temple devotee only. He was also in Pune. But what is speciality about him? He became devotee here in Pune. He speaks Marathi also, he speaks. And later on he went to America for job. And when he went to Boston, he and his wife and small son, they are running the temple, Boston Temple. He's the president of the temple. They live in the temple only, just in one small room they live, and they are running the temple. This shows that even a grihastha can run a temple. He's also in IT job. He does pujari service also. On the other hand, he'll have laptop also doing the work for the company. Work from home, you say, he calls it work from temple. He does like that. And he's also a vigorous preacher. You can see him making announcement in the theatre. And he knows Balaganpu and me in Pune here. He took me around to Boston, many places he showed me. And he always is a part of our youth meeting also. Very active. Yeah. This is Tapan Mishra Prabhu, allotted by the GBC college authorities for GDO reporting. So he is a person I report to. He lives in Mayapur. Yeah. So, as I have written here, yeah. So my spiritual master, and I had a discussion with Gauranga Prabhu also. They both said that actually in the West, nobody will take you seriously unless, as in his own words, unless you crack the code, I said, isn't it? Unless there is some. He said, if you just go around to different temples and try to start some youth preaching in multiple places, it may not be that effective. So you put your foot in one place like Boston now, make some 50 American brahmacharis wearing dhoti kurta tilak and chanting with beadbag, Hare Krishna, like Prabhupada's times, many became devotees. So if you can make that revolution, then American temples will take the youth preaching done at Boston very seriously. Actually, there is nothing like proven results, correct? No, just like in India, over a period of time, everywhere the youth centers popped up and it boomed in India. So similarly in America also, unless it booms in Boston, nobody will take your model very seriously. So actually, we just don't want only the philosophical model of teaching philosophy. We have to. American youth are much different from Indian youth in many respects. Maybe you are aware in America there is LGBTQ, lesbian, there is gay, there is transgender, there is queer, like the different categories of different sexes. So different types of people. So in American youth, they have many other psychological challenges because of families which are torn families. Parents have divorced families, and many boys and girls, they come from families where they have multiple mothers and multiple fathers. One man may have dozen partners, he must have changed. So it's not like a very stable situation in India, in America. Many of them suffer also terribly emotionally. So therefore there has to be some grihastha psychiatrists, husband, wives, who can actually attend to the needs of the youth and guide them. That is also one of the needs in America. So therefore we want to have some success stories happen by the grace of Guru and Krishna in the Boston. And If they will, some breakthrough may happen. Eventually, some American youth may become seriously situated practicing Krishna consciousness. As such, there is no opposition for preaching to the Western people there. And Western people are very open-minded. If they like the philosophy, they will take it. If they don't like it, they'll say no. And they can take out time and come for the program if they find it interesting. So these are the people currently preaching there. This Ramchand Prabhu studied in NIT Warangal. After that, he did his doctorate in India and went to Boston for doing in Harvard. He did his postdoctorate fellowship in Harvard. After that, he took a job in Boston. He is saying that he is the main mentor there, Ramchand Prabhu. Next to him, you find Onkar Pradhan Prabhu. He is given to us by Mukund Lila Prabhu from Calcutta, his counselee. And he is also studying his MS in Northeastern University. He is another mentor. Third one is Arjunanand Prabhu. He is a brahmachari cultivated in NIT Suratkal by Hare Krishna Prabhu from Bangalore. So thanks to all the seniors who gave these people. And Arjunanand Prabhu actually is a brahmachari. Currently, I have kept him in Brooklyn, New York temple. He's doing very good preaching. He has got 4 or 5 programs in a week for youth. And he is using the same game PT course he's doing, and total of 20-25 youths he has in these programs. And we did a camp. I'll show you the pictures for the camp also. So from Pune, 2000, check. These two are working. Yeah, yeah. 20-25. They all are students. Some are students, some are working. Not all are working. Some are students and some are working. So in 2024, January, which means not the coming year, the next year, we have 2 devotees going. We have Raghav Kripa Prabhu. Yeah. Yeah, there is Raghav Prabhu. Can you stand up, Raghav Prabhu? He and Manmohan Shyam Prabhu, is he there? These 2 devotees are going to go in January 2024. And they'll be joining there as full-time devotees in Boston. So they are going to stay there. And already is preparing, gearing up, connecting with many of the Western youths from here. So I have to get their photos and add that also. And then I am also requesting, these are some of the devotees I have requested till now. There are others whom I'll be requesting further, whether Sundar Chandra Prabhu, there is Sanatana Prabhu. I have not added their names here yet. Sadayagi Prabhu. There will be a second rung of leaders who will join later. But these leaders have some time and they have their people now. I can ask. So therefore, the choice of these people I made based on the strategy planning they did, and they have brought great success in the last so many years, these devotees. So I have put 12 names here. I have another 5 more names which I'll be adding as a next set. But those devotees, I feel that there are 3 levels of help we will be taking from these devotees: inspirational, strategy planning, and operational. In this, operational means giving devotees to Boston, just like Radheshyam Prabhu gave one Arjunanand Prabhu, like that. So, our strategy planning means they have to plan, they have to come to Boston at least 2 months, 3 months in a year, and then plan strategy, and they'll be given a college. You take one college and you develop it along with your people. So you put manpower, you develop the college and bring the youths to the Boston temple and eventually make good programs. Actually, we are not going to just stay in a group and be spending time in meetings. We are going to make it very, very simple. These people will be teaming up as 2 people. 2 people team, one pair. That means 6 pairs. We'll go to 6 different colleges, like Boston University, Boston, like that. We will allot the colleges. And then they can invest their people, time, energy, and everything in developing. There's Madan Sundar Prabhu, there's Sanatana Prabhu, Sundar Chandra Prabhu, Sadayagi Prabhu, Radheshyam Prabhu, and one more. 6 of them, they will come the next level, we will invite them. But these are the first level of devotees we have invited. Acharya Prabhu and Nimayananda Prabhu will be one team. Yeah, like that. Karnataka Prabhu and Pankajago Prabhu will be another team. And we also have Nam Prem Prabhu for helping with strategy planning. With both Arjunanand Prabhu in New York. Similarly, the other devotees also will form teams. Dasharat Priya Prabhu from Raurkela, we have Achyuta Mohan Prabhu, and we have Antardeep Prabhu, we have Mukund Leela Prabhu, and Neelamani Krishna Prabhu from Kanpur, and Sashman Prabhu from Hyderabad. Sashman Prabhu has 3-4 boys in Boston already coming to the temple from there also. So, I'm not showing you the preaching reports of the previous years. That will take a long time, but I will only show you the recent visit. The most recent visit. Okay, in the previous visits, we have done Sankalp, Surti for the boys, and one trip, 35 boys, we took them to Gita Nagari farm also. We had one program last time. But this is the recent one is, just now I have gone and come. This is 2022 visit. I'm just going to, I think I'll remove this thing, just 1 minute, animations. Antardeep, which one? Yes, correct. Okay. Actually, in the Boston temple, in the morning, just there'll be 2-3 devotees, that's all. In the morning, Mangalarti. At the moment, this is Prabhupada behind. So there are not many devotees. There are some few youth staying in the temple, probably 4-5 youth staying at the moment. But we have to increase over a period of time. There is Radha Gopi Vallabha, you are seeing that. This is the Spurti camp boys who are sitting there, all Indian boys, Indian audience. And this is program for NU students. So what I did, in 2 weeks, Monday I would do OTP. The OTP will be on one topic, like Mind Your Mind, I did one of the, and similar other class. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I did one course called Gita in a nutshell. So it's very similar to DYS, most of the concepts from DYS, but with a lot of videos and everything. And I haven't opened it, released it yet, because if it clicks well, this is another short course. It's like 1.5 hours. We can finish in 4 sittings. It's like most of the device concepts are covered in this. So Gita in a nutshell. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And Saturday, Sunday, we take them out for a camp. And in 1 week, you get one lot of 15 boys. See, this is a OTP going on here, right? After that, you will see here, Gita in a nutshell for any students. About 25 students were registered for that. And here you find Sankalp camp for them. We took them out a weekend. Like this we did. 2 sets we did like that. So out of this 15, one was 15, another one was 12. So we are expecting if about 15 to 20 people become solidified, then we think it's a very good system it is. This is Sankalp camp, and this is actually impromptu presentation by the boys after the Kailash drama. And that's one of the batches, 2 batches. And one interesting thing I found there in Boston, this is Sandeep Prabhu and Nima Mataji. They have a big house, like a villa. So our temple president, Vanamal Pandit Prabhu, said that our congregation has big houses in America. We can do the camp in the house only. So we did in the house. They have a first floor completely empty. They gave it to boys. So I really like the idea for one reason, because they were giving a very nice, good family culture. They had one small son. He also acted in Kailash drama. We put him as one of the actors. Kailash's son, he acted. So the family was very happy. And they cooked nice prasad. And my assistant, traveling assistant, was Sri Gopal Pran Prabhu. Is he around somewhere? Yeah, he made bonda for all the boys. Boys liked very much. So in this way, it was a very nice, and boys felt very homely. They felt as if they went to their home. So I was thinking in Pune also, if our Sankalp group is a small group, we can do it in some villas, houses of congregation. I felt a nice idea. And Sankirtan at the Copley Square in Boston, near the temple. This is a square where even His Holiness Sachibudas Maharaj used to do kirtan here. So we went to the same place, uh, putting a book table, doing kirtan. Yeah. These are we are meeting with a preachers meeting. And every day afternoon time, I used to call some of the boys for one-to-one cultivation. One boy, Jacob, is sitting there. You will see on the left, extreme left. So he's a follower of what do you call it? They have Aristotle, Plato. Platonian people are there in America, considerable number, and their philosophy is exactly like Sanatana Dharma, but they are all Americans. They also accept reincarnation, Punarjanma, and one God and the holy name. Many things they accept. So very nice discussion we had with them. Yeah. OTP for Boston University students. This is a one-time program we did. It was very, very well attended. Yeah, next week we took them out for a camp. You can see that. After the Gita in a nutshell. This is also in one of the houses. They have a beautiful lawn. Houses have such big lawns they have. Houses. Yeah. This is one Muktandia Prabhu, proper disciple, senior disciple. These are the deities, Radha Gopi Vallabha. And Shri Gaur Nitai, and Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra. These are the presiding deities in Boston since proper times. Yeah. And this is another program which I did this I did for, there is one place, I think Vermont, I think in Boston, for educated congregation. Almost 80 people attended. That was another good program. That was for congregation we did. This is Prabhupada, like they have made a library also here. Because Prabhupada landed in Boston, no? So therefore they have made the statue, if you see. This is Vanamal Pandit, president along with his son, small boy. Yeah. So this is what we did. Monday OTP, Tuesday, Friday Gita Nutshell, and then Saturday, Sunday, outdoor Sankalpya. And we did some congregation programs. And there was one devotee from SRM University called Radheshyam. So he was very helpful also. He came to Boston and stayed all through my stay in Boston. Very good in making posters, and in Gita Nutshell and all is very good in database keeping. He was very much helpful. Yeah. And there was Srivas Chandra Prabhu working with Facebook. And he is from San Jose, but his brother is in New Jersey. So now he is relocating to New Jersey, and so he'll be staying in Boston also. And he is helping me with newly he started one Instagram for us. So he's also helping. So these are all additional devotees. Some of them are saying that they will come to Boston now. They're ready to come and stay in Boston. Because in America, the work from home has taken off in a very big way. Many companies are saying you can lifelong work from home. So boys from any part of America can come and stay in Boston now. That is when Arjun said, Ed Brand, Prabhu. So he actually is the interface between students from India to America. He knows all in universities, he has a very great reputation. So he is also helping us with knowledge of universities and everything. So, okay, this is about Boston. I'll show you another one. This was very special, New York, Brooklyn Temple. Okay, just 1 minute. See, this temple is special because Radha Govind. See, in New York, there were 3 deities installed by Prabhupada, Radha Govindji, Jagannath Subhadra, and Shishi Gaurnita. So Radha Govindji remained here, and Jagannath Subhadra went to Baltimore. And Shishi Gaurnita went to New Jersey later on. So this is Radha Govind temple. the big temple. And this is a very, very dynamic temple because here at any given time there are 3, 4 sannyasis always. And there are about 10, 15 brahmacharis. And every day these brahmacharis go for book distribution between 1 to 7 daily. So Arjunanand Prabhu found this atmosphere of the temple very good. And Prabhupada quarters they have. This is Macha's gift shop. I went also. There is one Gaur Kumar Prabhu uh, who is also preaching in New York University, and he is connected to Bhakti Center there. He is taking care of this place. So he had arranged one very nice youth program in Bhakti Center. This is in Bhakti Center. We had from weakness to go from weakness to victory, not weakness to wickedness. That was one of the topics we did. Then for Arjunanand Prabhu's boys, we had one camp. This was one of the best youth camps I can say for various reasons, because the place where we did was a very, very scenic place. It was Krishna lunch house by one of the congregation devotees. They arranged for van to pick up the boys. They gave free prasadam for 2 days. And we had many scenic places to do the camps for the boys. These are attendees. For them also we did Sankalp camp. This is Kailash drama. They had very good costumes they had. Like rubber costumes of dog and rubber costume of snake and all that. They had. See, there is Hudson Bay. This is Hudson Bay. This is the one. In the bank of Hudson Bay only we are doing the camp. It's a very beautiful place. Yeah, these are the boys attendees of the Sankalp camp in New York. See, this boy you see here, this boy, his name is Sachin. Very good soul. So he's 1600 devotee. So he will be very soon dedicating his life to Swan. Yeah. So this was New York. So I came from Boston to New York, and then from there I went to East Coast, which I'll show you. Sorry, West Coast I'll show you now. Okay, ISKCON Tobacco is in New Jersey. This is a congregation program in the temple hall. Actually, my priority is not congregation preaching at all. It's a side activity for me when I go to US. I always tell them that if you have youth preaching, then only I call me. Along with that, side by side, some little congregation we will do. Yeah. This is the president, his name is Neelamani Prabhu of Tuvako Temple. He is building one temple there in Parsipani. One ISKCON temple is making now. So he just took us to that place. So Srinathji, Gaunita is Sitaram Lakshmana Hanuman. So this Gaunita is the same Gaunita which Prabhupada installed, I told you, in New York. They have come here to this temple. Yeah. So I did a program called Essence. This is another one, Plainfield, New Jersey. I did one program called Essence of Gita in 4 Sutras. Okay, after Sunday feast. This was a good youth class. See, these are all children of congregation there in New Jersey. So in America, I found there are 3 audiences for me. One is the children of congregation who are teenagers who are joining many universities in America. So some of the children are so nicely trained by the parents. They do very good kirtans with harmonium, with mridangam, and they're very simple-hearted. Some are chanting 16 rounds also. So we have to make a database. And some of them are very faithfully practicing even in teenage also. And other children, they will look like Indian. When they open the mouth, their accent will be like American. Because they are born and brought up in America. And they know the American culture also very well. So if these children become devotees, they can do wonders actually in Western preaching. Because they have best of East and West, both they have. So these are all children from New Jersey. And there is a National Memorial Day in America, which is a holiday. On that day, they arranged a program. So 10 to 1, I got a solid time with these people. We had very good question answers class and everything. They were very interested. But they all will be going to different parts of America now, different universities. Yeah. Yeah. Then one devotee took me from there to Baltimore. So in Baltimore is a beautiful temple you see on the left side, you see. There is one Neelamadha Prabhu. Here you see, this is Neelamadha Prabhu, president of the temple. He is a surgeon by profession. Morning I saw him coming with the apron to the temple. He said, Prabhuji, I am a surgeon, I have a job also. Along with the job, he has built a temple, can you imagine? He and his wife are very dedicated. So this is one thing I find interestingly in America. Even people having jobs, they are running temple as a temple president. And the weekends, they give a lot of time. The weekdays, they are doing the rock bottom minimum, whatever they can, running the temple. And this temple has three Westerners who are preachers, little elderly, maybe 60 years, 60 plus. But they are preaching to University of Maryland, which is just 15 minutes from the temple. So they are preaching there. So they have distributed thousands of prasadam plates and thousands of books, and they do kirtans also weekly once. But the boys who attended the program, they all go to different parts of America. So I was telling them, you should make a system of solidifying the boys and connecting to your local community. That you have to do. So I was telling them CQ, TEQ. You know this? CQ, TEQ means, CQ means contact, cultivate, care, and train, and educate, engage, empower. This is called as CQ, TEQ. So we had a nice discussion with those preachers there. So in Baltimore, we had Sunday school kids also. We had a program for them. This is known as Mahavishnu Maharaj. He's always with the accordion. He will do dancing kirtan. You might have seen in YouTube. It's very famous. He was there. He was so humble. When we were going, he came to send off along with the kirtan party. You can see. And we had a youth class also. This is for the children of congregation again. We had one youth class. Then from there, Baltimore, I took a flight and went to Austin. In Austin lives one good soul. His name is Satyasar Prabhu. You see here. This Satyasar Prabhu here is a disciple of His Holiness Prabhupada Maharaj. And he worked in Microsoft Seattle for 17 years. And in that period, every year he arranged, OTP for Maharaj in Microsoft. And I asked him, then what you all did further? Then they cultivated the people. 40 people got initiated from Microsoft in 17 years. And he and his wife are very dedicated people. Now his Guru Maharaj told him that you go to Austin and preach in UT Austin, we call it. University of Texas, Austin. And then later on, if you go, there is University of Dallas, University of Texas, Dallas. There is University of Texas, Arlington. So these are all in Texas state only. He's in one side of the state. It's called University of Texas, Austin. So in Austin, he's having 4 youth programs in a week. Saturday 2 programs and Sunday 2 programs. One is for the congregation youth, one is for the Western youth, and one is for the Indian youth, like that. One is for the teens. So he only takes all the 4 classes, can you imagine? And he was extremely respectful. So he said, you are my Shiksha Guru and all. I follow all this complete voice pattern he follows. Same style he follows. So he has seen results also in voice preaching. And he is currently empowering the next level of people also. And they are building a temple also in Austin. So in my travels, he is one devotee I count a lot, count him as very substantial and serious practicing devotee. And I've been interacting with him on email, but this time I went and spent some time with him nicely. So there are a lot of Telugu people, Telugu and Tamil speaking people in that locality of Austin. So, but they have very good, both youth and congregation, very nice devotees. Then in Austin also lives 2 more people, leaders. In Austin there is a temple of Sankarshan Das Adhikari Prabhu. How many of you know him? He comes to Pune. Yeah. So he had invited me to his place. He was fortunately available in station. So we went. So we had a class in the backyard, the lawn. We had a Bhagavatam class. Because of COVID, everybody spread it out. So, and he is a first class devotee, you all know, Radha Damodar he worships. This is darshan of Radha Damodar in his, actually I don't know whether to call it a home or a temple. It's like temple only. His home is like a temple only, you can see. Then there is one more temple called Round Rock Temple in Austin, headed by one leader called uh, Ram Vijay Prabhu. He is also a very, very wonderful devotee. We had a congregation program for his people, as you see in the top. This is Ram Vijay Prabhu. I'm standing with him. So he used to bring his youths for the San Jose teenage lectures. He used to come, they used to come for that. So this is his home. He has a Gauneta at home. He has invested half of the temple construction money from his own pocket, which is like I think $4 million or something like that. He has put in his own from his own pocket. He's also building a temple. All three are in Austin. Yeah, you can see them. And then we went to evening class in Houston temple. So Austin and Houston and Dallas, we can travel by car. Like Austin to Houston is like Pune to Bombay, like that. Again, Houston to Dallas, another Pune to Bombay, that much distance. It's like a triangle. So I went by car. There is Ananteshwar Prabhu from Pune, is there. And this is a beautiful temple in Houston, because when Tamalksha Maharaja's main base was this temple, Houston temple. They also have a Krishna house where they have about 12 to 15 students, boys and girls they have. They all attended class. They asked good questions also they asked. And there are three brahmacharis there. There was one Keshav Bharati Maharaj, his known as Keshav Bharati Maharaj. Maybe some of you know. He's a very wonderful preacher. He used to come to IIT Bombay in my college days. He and his known as Giriraj Maharaj used to come. So he is based in Houston. And by his preaching, three brahmacharis have. You see those three brahmacharis standing in the top right. So they are all preached by him. So they are Western bodied brahmacharis. If these personalities, they engage in preaching, they may bring more people. So that is one of my interests also in going to Houston. I want to connect with them and know more. These are the brahmacharis. I had a brahmachari class twice with them. Yeah. They have a small ashram just started. So I have one monthly once brahmachari sangha for the US brahmacharis. I generally do monthly once on Thursday morning. I do. I think, yeah. So we have once in a month. So in that, Patita Pavan Prabhu comes. One of these devotees comes in that. He comes. So then I went to Ananteshwar Prabhu's home. Ananteshwar Prabhu and his wife are very conservative family, strict family. They raised two daughters. Now these two daughters are in their teenage, 15 or 16. They both got initiated by His Holiness Indrabdhan Swami Maharaj. But these two girls are so strict. They have brought them up in such pure standards. They did homeschooling for them from childhood. The beauty is they're living in America, they don't have a mobile at all. Not even button mobile. At least I have button mobile, they have no button mobile also. They said they live without mobile. When I went to the home, they just came and offered obeisances and they immediately went to their rooms. They are trained very, very powerfully. This is Ananteshwar Prabhu. So he and his wife are preaching to Americans also. They have about 10, 12 American people they're cultivating. Their home has a lot of beautiful altar, you'll see. And then I went to Dallas from there, University of Texas, Dallas. In University of Texas, Dallas, there was a program with 40, 45 people. Mostly Indians there who attended. There is one Dauji Nitai Prabhu and Swapnil Prabhu is Shankararanya Prabhu. You all know this Mind Your Mind mime show? They did in Bombay. He was the first one to do that. Swapnil Prabhu. The blue t-shirt. He's a very good dramatist. He is from Bombay, Thane, but now he settled in Dallas. And then the other one is Dauji Prabhu, who hosted me. Very good devotees. They are inviting for University of Dallas. We have to go regularly. And that has a very big scope, University of Dallas, because college has unlimited scope. They were asking about how to take them through gradual course. They are not aware of our systematic training program. I just introduced to them about DYS and our game PT course and everything I showed them. Nowadays, one of the devotees from Hyderabad is Grace Mahaprabhu Chaitanya Prabhu. I think he's here, I think. Mahaprabhu Chaitanya Prabhu. He is the one. So this Mahaprabhu Chaitanya Prabhu, he has made hyperlinks for all the courses. Some 7, 8 levels of courses, beginning with Positive Thinker, Sankalpa, Sfurti, Utkarsha, everything. And he has put the topics along with hyperlinks also. We can just go and click there and get the PPT. We can get the videos. So I found it very helpful. That's what I share with devotees like these people. They find it easy to click and download and watch. So now they will start the systematic training for the Indian youth. This is another hope-giving place because Indians come in big number here. There is an Arjun Keshav Prabhu here who's a very good singer. He's a born devotee child. He's studying and he's going to come to Pune. Probably for some 1 or 2 months he will come. So you want to try out Brahmacharya Ashram also. This boy, Arjun Keshav Prabhu also. So he's a good singer. So students are very fond of Kirtan in this college also. Then in Dallas there is Samadhi of His Holiness Tamaksha Maharaj. Yeah. And then this Prabhupada quarters, you see? This is Prabhupada quarters in Dallas. And I met one Ritadwaja Maharaj in Dallas. This Maharaj is very famous amongst the teens of America because he knows how to connect with the teens, especially Western-bodied teens. Maharaj is very friendly, very non-judgmental, and very open-minded, honest, and down-to-earth, jovial. And also he helps teens identify their problems and solve it themselves. So I spent some couple of hours with him, learning from him how he deals with the Western-bodied youth. So he has one group called as TSI, the Sangha Initiative. If you put on internet, you'll get the Sangha Initiative. So he attracts like 250, 300 teen American youths. I think twice a year, once or twice a year he does the Sangha Initiative like that. This is Radha Kalchanji, the most famous Radha Kalchanji in Dallas. He's also Prabhupada's time deity. This is a congregation program in Dallas, yeah. I was very amazed, many Pune devotees here in Dallas. In the congregation. Many of them came and introduced themselves and I found them there doing jobs. Okay, this is the last one, East Coast visit. So after that I went to Silicon Valley, ISV, ISKCON Silicon Valley. And many boys across the country, when they have to take a job, they go here only because money is here. Silicon Valley, just like Bangalore. Therefore Bangalore, they call it as the Silicon Valley of India, correct, no? Here people get jobs very easily also. Lots of computer companies. And his grace Vaisheshika Prabhu has a temple here. So I spent time with him, learning from him. So he started one thing during the pandemic time, just before that, corporate pitching in Google and Microsoft and such companies he has started. What is it? He would do one program in the company and then the interested people, he connects them on Monday, Wednesday and Saturday. Saturday is exclusively for women. That is done by Matajis only. Matajis are leading it, Matajis attend it, like that program. And Monday is for new corporates and Wednesday is for corporates who have attended on Monday, they become little mature, they are moved to Wednesday, like that he does. So 3 programs a week they do. So he does some light programs gradually on mind and habits and everything and gradually brings them to Wednesday and then gives Krishna consciousness. And each of these programs is attended by 60 people approximately and all Western bodied. So I am also very interested to see next time I go with him. So he takes those programs and they are very active on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook and everything. And they keep in touch with these corporate people and their goal is to make some committed congregation devotees, Western bodied people through that. So this is one example of how Westerners are taking to Krishna consciousness seriously. This is one such program Vaisheshika Prabhu is doing. So it was very nice spending time with him. Then we had Mangalarati. Then we had a preachers meet, formation of the first BYS in America. We are going to call it as a BYS, Bhaktivedanta Youth Services in America for one reason. Because Bhakti word is very popular in West. Bhakti Yoga Club, Bhakti Club, they call it like that in colleges. So if you say Bhakti means, people know Bhakti means love. And it is love for God. It is love. It is a very good thing to do. It's a cool thing, like that. Like, when I was in airport, one fellow, the people who are in the security check, there was one Western boy. He was moving it and suddenly he saw this one, Radha Vrindavan Chandra, When he saw, hey, wait a minute. Who are these people? He asked me. Who are they? I said, this is Radha Krishna. And another man was there with him. He said, hey, this is their God. And I was telling. And hey, they look very cool. They look very cool, yeah? And then I was about to pack it. Said, please show me once more. As he was watching again. So I thought it's a blessed soul. He is Sukruti from the last life. So in this way, you find the bhakti is a very nice word in America now. They have bhakti fest and all where 60,000, 80,000 boys, girls attend. They like the kirtans there. Kirtan and yoga, these are the two buzzwords in the West. So therefore and also the word Vedanta is also famous there. So therefore Bhakti, Vedanta, youth, services. Services means we don't want only forum, just people who come and go, but we want people who will do some service. So we're going to call it as a BYS there. So BYS Club. Bhakti Vedanta Youth Services Club. So in San Jose, I found there is a good number of crowd of youths. There are more than 100 to 120 youths coming in the weekends. And because Silicon Valley is full of youths, many Pune boys are also there, many boys. So I gathered the cream leaders who are preachers there, brought them together. And you see that top right corner. We had one meeting with them and we started the first center there. Already it's set rolling, 5 of them. 5 of them is the best thing because we don't want to have a very big number. And some congregation devotees agreed to give prasad for this people. One congregation said we will give morning prasad. One congregation said we will give them evening prasad. So prasad is arranged in the neighborhood only for them. And they are going to stay and go for a job. And we will be in touch with them, guiding them on how to do the morning program and hearing lectures and everything. So we have twofold goals of this BYS. 50% energy for book distribution, another 50% energy for generating new boys from 2 universities, Stanford University and Santa Clara University. From there, generating new youth. Both the universities have very good clubs, the college. So they'll be preaching there. Amongst all the places, this is the place which has already taken off, we can say. BYS is formed already. And there are other boys lining up. We will form one, this is BYS one club, then we'll have second, third, fourth, five boys we will make. So when I told, says Vaishishika Prabhuji, we need your blessings and permission. What do you suggest about this kind of centers? He took me out and showed me. Take all these buildings around the temple, he said, and convert them all into BYS. Like that he said. He said, many of them are vacant also. He said, take them and make youth centers here. He said, I'm very fond of youth staying near the temple and coming to the temple in the morning. He said. So, then this is ISV, school kids. This is Radha Vallabh Prabhu, you've been knowing. He was a brahmachari in Bombay and cook for Maharaj. Very, very famous cook. Radha Vallabh Prabhu. He has a very magical touch for making special recipes. Now he has written a book. It's called as Yogi Plate. It is published by Penguin. It's a famous book. And he is an internationally acclaimed chef, we can say. So he has started a hotel. So he is going to supply lunch prasad for our boys. He will provide. So he'll give lunch, morning, evening, 3 times prasad. They're going to get hot prasad. Yeah. And I had a program for the school kids. So these are 40 to 45 kids, all congregation children. Very good children. And I've been doing them monthly once from Pune, online I've been doing. Now this time when I went, I personally met them also, yeah. Yeah, Radha Madan Mohan ki, Gaurang Mahaprabhu ki, Narasimhadev ki. These are the deities in ISV, ISKCON Silicon Valley. Then after that we went to LA, Los Angeles Temple. That's a brahmachari class in Los Angeles Temple. There are some Western people. In Los Angeles Temple lives Bhrigupati Prabhu, who is an internationally acclaimed book distributor. You see below, that one in dhoti and brown color shirt. He's a magical distributor. If he gives book to somebody, they cannot escape. And there are many videos also on Bhrigupati Prabhu distributing Prabhupada's books. So I could get to see him. And also there is one Swavas Prabhu, the president of LA Temple since 1974 or 75. He came in 74, 75, but he became president in 80 probably. I think. And they had two programs, UCLA, University of California, and Caltech. We didn't do program. Caltech was not available, but UCLA we did. But in both these universities, there are three disciples of His Holiness Devamrit Swami Maharaj. Very nicely play. They are doing, one is musical meditation club here in UCLA. So you can see all our Western youths. You will see that right bottom if you see. Hmm. They were all, UCLA is full of Western bodied boys and girls. They attended the program. This is a program for the youths. So there are three boys from India. You see here on the left top corner. See this middle boy, you see? Shadabdi Gorampur's counselor. He is working with NASA. Hmm. And the two other boys, they stay studying in Caltech. So he is studying in Caltech. And he is also studying in Caltech. Two boys. So both Caltech and Caltech is also Ivy League university, very famous premier university. And UCLA also. So they do classes occasionally when people like me go, but otherwise they do more music, kirtans they are doing. Now the next step, they are also thinking how to bring this people to two things they want to know also, how to introduce them to Krishna conscious philosophy in a full-blown way, and how to make them committed to chanting 16 rounds Hare Krishna. Those two. So Rukmini Dwarkadish ki, these are the famous Prabhupada established them, and Jagannath Subhadra and Gaurnitai in LA. This is Swavas Prabhu. We had 2-3 meetings with him. And in the right bottom corner, you see, along with Swavas Prabhu, who's in white, there is Devavrat Prabhu who came to Pune also. So he was with me in San Jose and also even in Dallas. And he came to San Diego also. He was in San Diego and San Jose and also in LA. All the three temples he was with us. So he's a very big support for us because he knows in and out of West and he is guiding us and introducing us to many people also. It's a great boon. Swavas Prabhu is very welcoming. He's very close to His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj. So he told me, Radheshyam, there are 3 brahmachari ashramas empty now. Here is a key. Take it, fill it up. He said, how will you fill up first? We have to preach first. He said, you can bring from Pune if you want. Pune, I heard there are too many devotees. So very welcoming. Then we went to Santa Barbara to meet His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj. So we had a nice association of Giriraj Maharaj. We had very good question answers with him on holy name. These are his deities, so many. 6 Goswami, says Gaurnitai. Yes, Shadabdi Gauranga and Jagannath of His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj. So then we had a meeting with His Holiness Devamrit Swami Maharaj also. So Devamrit Swami Maharaj, his main base is close to Australia, New Zealand and Auckland and Wellington. So he taught some extraordinary things when I met him personally. He said, you see, when you are going for a new group, boys, girls may attend program in college, that's all right. But cultivating boys and girls together means only grihasthas can do. Brahmacharis cannot do, in America especially, preaching to boys and girls for a long time. And he said, as far as brahmacharis are concerned, he said, I have an exclusive ashram in the farm and they never come in contact with any woman. He said, they live in the farm away and they come to the congregation temple on Sunday morning till 12 o'clock or so. And then they will push off. After that, congregation program happens after 1 o'clock. So he said that brahmacharis means they have to deeply study the Shastra. They have to be aloof from opposite sex. And the reason he said is, I cannot deal with the complications they will bring if I put them in touch with women. He said. So he's very strict about it. He said in his college days also, his college was in a hilly area, in a remote village, and they never came in touch with opposite sex. Therefore, our minds were peaceful, he was telling. The moment you bring a man in contact with a woman, his mind will become disturbed. Hmm. So that point he was very much stressing in the training. He said, you train the boys. And I told Maharaj, we also in Pune, we don't mix both. We train boys exclusively. For girls, there's a separate training by Matajis. So it was very nice talking to him. He has written some few books, you all may be aware. So he is inspiring his disciples to preach in many American universities. Yeah. And then there is one Veda Yoga University program by one Kumi, that Mrs. Kumi, now she has become Her Grace Kumudini Mataji. You can see the bottom picture. I am talking to her. She is the owner of a yoga studio. Here also, her audience were completely Westerners. Huh? All the Western men and women they attended. That was one of the best programs, I can say. This is just 3 blocks ahead of LA Temple. Huh? If you go to Los Angeles Temple, you can walk down 3 blocks and you will get this yoga studio. They were very good people. They were not leaving at all. After the program, they almost 1 hour there was question answer. Program was only fixed till 8 o'clock. It went till 9:15. Many good questions they asked these people, which goes to show that these people are growing in their Krishna consciousness. Some of them are chanting 8 rounds, 4 rounds, all Western body. So this is another hope for me in my travels, that people directly understand Bhagavad Gita. If you teach them, Westerners are ready for it. I also heard there is one Tukaram Prabhu who lives in Laguna Beach Temple. And Laguna Beach Temple has made one separate preaching center in the Long Island. So in the Long Island, I heard that he is a very strong preacher and straightforward preacher, and he comes here also. He goes to 5-6 centers like this. This is one of the centers he comes monthly, once, twice he comes. So because he is giving them philosophy, they are picking up now. So somehow or other, if we can bring the Westerners and give them pure philosophy of Krishna consciousness, they pick up and increase the rounds. If we do that, it will be an achievement. This is Prabhupada quarters in Los Angeles Temple. All Prabhupada quarters items. Yeah. And meeting with Arjun Kaur Prabhu and family. Arjun Kaur Prabhu is from Devotional College in Pune. So he and his wife only hosted us and took very good care of us. Yeah. And Mangalarti at LA Temple morning. Then we went to San Diego Temple. You know, Dravida Prabhu, who sings shlokas very sweetly, he is in San Diego Temple. And there is also His Holiness Badrinarayan Maharaj, the most famous Prabhupada pastime teller. He also still lives there. Yeah, they have some brahmacharis, probably 8-10 brahmacharis they have. It's a nice temple. Vijay Prabhu, the top-notch book distributor and the minister for book distribution in the entire world, he lives there in San Diego now. Earlier he was living in LA. So these 3 big Maharathis, Vijay Prabhu and His Holiness Badrinarayan Maharaj and His Grace Dravida Prabhu, this is the beauty of the San Diego Temple. So there lives one Ravi Teja, one of the boys, councillor of Shadbhugarang Prabhu. It's a very good boy. He's preaching very nicely in the local university there. These are the San Diego deities, Radha Girivardhari. Giridhari. See, this is His Badrinarayan Maharaj. See, I was giving a Bhagavatam class, and Maharaj, after the class, when I asked questions, Maharaj said, take some questions. Then I said, yes, Maharaj, I'll take questions. Then Maharaj asked, what is the proof that God exists? He was asking. Then, of course, from DYS, I released many things. I told him, source of the universe and source of life. God. I was speaking. Maharaj was listening, nodding the head. After I spoke about 15 minutes, I showed some videos. And Maharaj said, this is required in the West now. This is what Americans are waiting for, he was telling. You should give them how God exists, how soul exists, how there is reincarnation, how to dissolve our past karma, how to awaken love of God. We should preach this purely. If you give this, Americans will immediately become dedicated devotees, he was telling. So he said, I am not asking this question so that you will give answer to me. I want to show these devotees in the temple here that this we have to preach, he was telling. So it was very nice meeting him. So we had a brahmachari class also at San Diego. Actually, in San Diego, we had one Krishna House program. I think that photo is not there. Where is, you didn't take that? Oh, that's very important program. There were 40 to 50 people in that. Very good program it was. Krishna House program. What they have done, they told me that, Radheshyam, we have a special center which is away from the temple. And many youths will come there. And we wanted a separate place for them. So, just like you have voice in India, he said. Prabhuji, how long it takes to go now? It doesn't take much time. And then he opened the window and showed, this is Krishna house, the next compound only. From there, Acha, is it separate from temple? Temple is here only. They say, no, they have separate compound wall. They come, separate gate. So students come there, when they become more mature, they take them to temple next door. You know? So this program on the right side, you see, that is in Krishna house. The afternoon time I was doing. But in the evening, we had afternoon time, brahmacharis use it also. But in the evening, many of the boys, girls, all American-bodied people come there. They had given me a topic called Transcending Loneliness. They asked many, many questions also, these people. And then I had 2 sessions, one at Amazon, one at Microsoft. But in America, still there was COVID. So Microsoft and Amazon told you, come to company, a few leaders will attend and others will join online. So some 80 people joined online. And these were the people locally there. And this was Amazon and Microsoft, fully it was online. And then there's one Harivilas Prabhu, who is the proper disciple in Seattle. I'm going to invite him online to give lectures to us, our Pune devotees, because he speaks very purely, just like Prabhupada. Faithfully, every morning he gives classes, very amazing classes. He's the main president there in Seattle Temple. And I have one Brajakripa Prabhu, whom you see here, is standing here and here also. He is my most favorite, friend there in Seattle, because he's the one who coordinates the whole American trip every year. He connects with each of the temples and connects from one temple to another. And he arranges who will book ticket and who will pick us up, and everything he only does. So he has been in Microsoft for many, many years also, decades. And Adidas has made some philosophical presentation on life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness here. Yeah. This is a preachers' meet we had. All these are preachers, each of them is having 30, 40 people under them. So for the preachers, we had a meeting. They're all Seattle preachers, yeah. Actually, if they're inspired, they can also preach to Westerners. So that's one of my goals. I'll be connecting with them online and requesting them, don't just preach to Indians. Indians anyway become devotees. They come to temple without calling also they come. You should. Yeah, you have to focus on the Westerners, Western preaching. Yeah, this is a class at Seattle Temple. Yeah. This is for the congregation children. There the girls are more than boys. The girls are almost 2/3 are 60-70% and 30% is small kids. The boys are smaller boys. Girls are grown-up girls here, you see that. The right side. This is the youth of, when they say youth there, they consider both boys and girls to be youths there, like that. So we did a program for them. Yeah, this is returning to India. Went to Seattle airport. And these boys actually got placed in universities. I think in Seattle there is one university program which we did also. It's called University of Washington. So these two boys are boys who are just congregation children, but who joined University of Washington. I was talking to them. Yeah. So this was a trip this time. Went to many places, and now the purpose of going to these different places. One more last thing I can show you, which I did the last time. I can show you this. This is I had written a Boston diary at that time, so it's exhaustive, but I will show you some other things. This was last previous trip, 2019 trip. We had gone to Gita Nagari. See this prasad, nice? Yeah. Yeah. See drama, nice drama, no? What is? These are previous years, this thing. But one thing I want to show you here is this thing, Krishna house activity. Here is the thing. See, they have a very good program near the college. See, they put Prabhupada's picture also, they put inside the college. Because Krishna lunch is going on 1772 up to now. 50 years it's going on. So every day they give a prasadam to 800 to 1000 boys and girls. It's fully sponsored. And Monday, what they do? They do more of discussions, the yoga for the Western body. And Thursday, they do jam kirtans of Hare Krishna mantra. On Friday, Krishna conscious philosophy mostly for Indian youths and mature ones. And Sunday, they do weekend program open for all congregations. So that means different days, different audience they cater to. See, they have put the poster here, see? Friday night live, this is for Indians. Jam night means powerful, loud kirtan, like we jump on Hari Bol like that, huh? That kind of kirtan. And meditation Monday means soothing kirtan, soft. Some guys want very soft, some guys want very loud. So they call them on different days like that. Yeah. You can't do same day, you can't satisfy both. And one day they have only group discussion. They put them in a circle, little discussion they do. So, see, this is in the college, they are doing kirtans. Many college students come and sit. Along with prasadam distribution, they do sweet kirtan. And they said that in the prasadam table, you don't talk to anything to them. But while giving the prasadam, giving people are very loving and very caring in the table. So students love the preachers, those who are in Krishna house. That's how they connect. Here you are distributing prasad, here the kirtan is going on just across the road. They take prasad and they go and sit here along with the kirtan. Many are eating prasad around also. And they can pick up a book and go. And then once they're a little inspired, they come to the Krishna house. And then they may start coming for the programs and gradually they connect and join also. It's a very good program it is. See, here you will find, this is Kalakanta Prabhu. You are seeing here, this one is Kalakanta Prabhu. And these are all inmates of Krishna house. This many people, they have 35 to 40. You can see all Western bodied. So it has been a successful program in the West. So one of the slight differences that we may do is we may be catering to more Indian youths in our BYS to begin with. And eventually the Western bodied boys come, they want to be brahmacharis and they want to stay in our center. We will see how they also catch up the philosophy. Because in Prabhupada's times, the morning walks and all, many Western bodied people used to ask brilliant questions. If you see, even now, we can hear. They asked very sharp, intelligent questions. So, in Krishna house, most of them become good grihasthas and settle. Some of them become brahmacharis also, like you see here. There are one or two brahmacharis also here. It's like a very nice morning program. They have Gaurnitai, they have. See, here is this Mataji you see, in the yellow t-shirt. She's an initiated devotee. She leads a discussion for about 25-30 people, putting them in a circle. This is another day, I told you, mild, soft kirtan with dim light. One of the days they do this. Yeah, they do that. Some people want closed eyes and just completely, soothing kirtan they attend. That kind of thing they do. Yeah. Okay, this is good enough. You got an idea now, isn't it? Shri Prabhupada ki. So, this is what we have done till now. And when I showed you the vision, I was showing you some photos of devotees. So these devotees I am in touch with now and we are discussing now. Because these are all preachers who have a lot of service to do in India also. And they have their, and they may not be able to go and physically stay there in the West. But they can visit West, probably 2 months, 3 months in a year. They can, just like I am visiting, they can also visit. And they can also inspire some other students to go to Boston for studying in Boston University or Northeastern University. And they can also send some other trained voice and yoga devotees to West to help. So what we are planning is, initially we are going to invest 5 years time in Boston and make 40-50 committed, dedicated youths, devotees in the next 5 years. That is the plan. Each of these preachers in pairs will be given some assignment there. And they will invest time, energy, and they already have talents. They will do that. And along with that, each of these pairs will be given one of these projects across the country. Somebody will take Dallas, somebody will take Austin, somebody will take San Jose, like that. And that will be, they will put some 20% energy there. 80% energy in Boston, they will put. Boston, they will develop as a role model temple and role model. Just like in Pune, we had actually My Guru Maharaj also said this, and Gaurang Prabhu also repeated when he came to Pune when I met him. He said, see, in Pune, you all have been doing it for some years and it really boomed. Then the other temples got connected to you and then you could send the devotees. In the same manner, Boston should be seen as a not only a hub of education, it should be seen as a hub of spiritual education also. And if we can do that, it will be a remarkable thing because Prabhupada put his lotus feet in which place? Boston first. So, and also Boston universities have got all Prabhupada's books. So, if Boston can have a powerful youth preaching there, exemplary devotees, both brahmacharis and youths and congregation, that will be outstanding work. And then from there, many other temples are happy to have more devotees. It's not that we have to send only from Boston. Boston devotees can remain in Boston. Other places, these devotees can also go from Boston to other temples in helping. We can, just as we expanded voice in India, we can also expand in a similar manner in the West also and assist the North American GBC and the temples. It will be a very great service to Prabhupada's disciples. When I travel now, I see many of the Prabhupada disciples are old, and even in old age they are working so hard. It is, you will cry tears if you see, because some of the old disciples are 70 plus, still they are managing the temples. They are only doing arti, they are only giving classes. Some temples have very less number of devotees. Some have little more, but not the way it was during Prabhupada's times. What has happened is, in Prabhupada's times, the congregation, brahmachari, there was no difference. Everybody lived in the temple. But as the movement matured up, Prabhupada was only 12 years now with us, 1965 to 77. After that, as people started growing in number of years of Krishna consciousness, they wanted to get married and they lived opposite temples. Some of them went far away, some of them took outside jobs. Now 98% of our movement is in congregation. So those who are inside the temple are very few. So because of that, the congregation are able to come only on weekends at the moment in most of the temples. Sundays they come. The weekdays, like a church, it operates on Sunday. Other days it's closed. So it's somewhat similar type of situation in many places. Although some temples are active on other days too. But we want to see that in the time to come, the ISKCON temples will become active during the weekdays also. There will be good number of brahmacharis and boys also. One of the easiest things to do, I feel, in all the Western temples is many Indian boys should be kept in the temple like we have RVC yoga. Correct, no? We can have 20, 30 Indian youths staying in the temple. In Boston temple, they have a simple formula. If any Indian youth want to stay in temple and get prasadam, they have to give 8 hours of service per week. If they agree for that service, they can stay in the temple. And they have to attend the morning program. Now they have 7, 8 boys staying like that in the temple. Some of them also attended our programs. So I like this system because in this way, every temple can have some Indian youths who can go out and book distribution at the weekend and also can cultivate Western youths, and we can form a BYS with them. So this is something which can immediately happen. If any of our preachers are so expert, in India with so much challenges in India, secular country, they are preaching so much, isn't it? They know how to get the boys to come for the program and what all the drama they have to do to get the group to come. In a hostel, there is iron curtain. You can't enter the college hostel. You can't do this. That I remember in those days, there was a Gangaputra Prabhu. He used to, in those days, many years ago, 10 years ago, he was doing Zoom japa with the boys. In the hostel, boys, he would wake up the boys and he would make them chant. Through Zoom, he would connect. And then he will arrange for cookie to be sent by one of the boys. So, now Zoom has become a very common thing now. Our devotees in India, despite opposition, in college, can you imagine having a Bhakti club in Indian college, any college? Bhakti Yoga club? You can't utter the name inside the college. In America, it's so easy. Ground is open, opportunities are abundant. But nevertheless, one last thing I have to say, that those who are going to put their foot in the Western land, they have to be very sense controlled and they have to be very devotional minded and they have to be fixed and loyal to their Guru and Shiksha Gurus and Diksha Guru. If they play with fire, they will burn themselves. Because the culture is a free culture. Many boys, girls are totally ignorant there. of the Atma and body difference. So it's a land of Bhoga Bhumi. India is a Yoga Bhumi. So in America, if you are not careful, you can get carried away by the current of Maya, because everywhere people are scantily dressed, and the culture is like that. So those who are going should be very resolved. They should have a great resolve in their purpose. So they should keep in mind, I am going for pleasing Prabhupada, pleasing my spiritual master. I have no other goal. I just want to give every drop of my blood for service to Prabhupada mission. With this type of spirit, those who are ready to go to the Western land, they can do wonders, surely. Otherwise, if sense gratification thoughts are lurking in the mind, you can become an easy victim, easy prey to Maya there, the Western world. So I would never recommend anybody to go alone to the West, unless you want to fall down. Then, then only you can go alone. Even I travel with Sri Gopal Pran Prabhu together. We should travel in 2-2 only, always. It's a default option. You should make up your mind. You should always travel in 2-2 if you're going to West. If any of your students go to the West for studying also, you can consult your mentor and try to come to Boston or New York. Boston is best if you can come, because Boston activities are going to be increased now. So we are thinking of getting 10 to 20 trained voice youths in Boston on the ground level to become mentors. And then study in the college, earn a degree, side by side also preach and bring people. And His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, His Holiness Narendra Maharaj will frequently come if we really develop Boston. Because they come also. Narendra Swami comes 2-3 times a year. And Radhanath Swami Maharaj lives in New York. And he comes once a year or so. But they both want to see Boston develop because it was Prabhupada's desire. Prabhupada also went to MIT USA, you know that, right? Prabhupada said in MIT USA, asked, where is the department for Almighty? He asked, yeah. So Prabhupada will be very pleased if you see some of the MIT and Harvard boys become devotees. They become 600 devotees, committed devotees. These are extremely intelligent people. So if they pick up Krishna consciousness, they will also do great good for the entire West also they can do. We have a club in MIT College. We have Vedic Vision Club. So I have given also some few programs in MIT. 3-4 programs I have given their last visit. So this September when I go, we will do more. And we are hopeful that one boy studied called Satwat is Sundar Chaitanya Post counselor from Juhu. So he was helping us in MIT. Now he's already passed out. But we are looking for more people in future. So if any of you have any ideas on what you heard today, preaching in the West, you can always write mail to me, because we are in the budding stage now, the very, very early stages. Yeah. So how it will go, what is going to happen ultimately, the road ahead only is known to Krishna. He will gradually unfold what is about to happen. But we should do our best. We will put our best efforts and try our best. But we are backed up with very powerful blessings of His Holiness Niranjan Maharaj, His Grace Pyare Mohan Prabhu, and His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, and many, many other gurus and sannyasis. His Holiness Badrinath Maharaj was so welcoming in San Diego. And Swavas Prabhu, they all were saying that, Radheshyam, we have been always hearing so many nice stories about youth preaching in India. But now you are coming here, we are so happy. They said, everybody is saying all these places they told, please come in September again. I don't know how to visit all the places. I have other places like there is a Philadelphia and Atlanta and Long Beach, Laguna Beach. Many places for my learning also, going and meeting them and what they are doing, I want to learn. So we may not be able to visit all the places every time, but the purpose of visiting these places is to see what we can learn and what we can contribute to them, both ways. And also many of these places our boys are there. When I go, Prabhuji, I am here only, boys will come and say like that. Many boys. Prabhuji, remember I am from this voice, I am from that voice, I am from this yoga. And then I used to ask them, what are you doing here? Prabhupada said, go to America as a giver, not as a taker. In Berkeley, Prabhupada said, If an Indian goes to America to collect dollar notes, say America is giving you dollars, what are you giving to America? Prabhupada asked. Prabhupada said Indians should not be like beggars. We should become givers. So givers means preach, and they were all, many of our people also, they are worshipping the deities, they are cleaning the pots, they are distributing books in the temple. I told them, now you have to start program immediately. I told them, immediately next week you start a program. Who will attend? And you find out people who will attend. And I told you, start program for the Western people. Western people, even more difficult. At least start for the Indians first. So I have all the names of the fellows and all the phone numbers also. Only these camps are occupying my time, otherwise I'll follow them up now. Yeah. Now from India only I will chase. So there are a lot of places where many wonderful devotees are there, and they are very dedicated. They are actually rendering seva. But specifically, you have to just inspire them to do the preaching seva to both Indians and Westerners. And increase the number of devotees. Don't be satisfied just washing pots and worshipping deity and enjoying the temple campus atmosphere program and everything. If you don't increase the devotees, then future will be bleak. If you increase the devotees, before we die, we should leave Prabhupada's movement with hundreds and thousands of devotees. And then even when we are gone, then others will continue the movement. That should be the goal. Shri Prabhupada ki, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. How is it?